70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. I'm Elizabeth Chapman, and I'm here to inform you of the problems we're making in our oceanic environments and how we can fix them. So number one, the biggest problem we're making, trash. So there's so much trash floating in our ocean. Every day, we're taking our trash, our straws, plastic rings, plastic bags, and dumping them right into our local watersheds through rivers and streams, and also through our drainage system. And we don't ever really look where it's ending up at. According to ForOcean.org, every minute, one garbage truck worth of plastic is dumped into the ocean, which is pretty disgusting considering we sometimes swim in it. And one reason that poor trash management by the Waste Management Department in many regions of the world. In Ghana, a state in Africa, the Waste Management Department is currently capable of collecting only 60% of the waste generated daily. The rest is dumped into open spaces, surface drains, and into bodies of water. Now, I found that information also in 4Oceans, and I thought it was really eye-opening because we don't realize how much of our trash actually goes into the oceans that we're using for conservation purposes and for recreational purposes. The second big thing is pollution. So fuel from unmaintained boats is leaking, oils from drilling, like the movie Deepwater Horizon, I'm not sure if you've seen that, but they have a big oil explosion and the rig explodes, and all that oil just leaked into the ocean, and like I said, we use for conservation and recreation, and old grease from restaurants are all being dumped in our oceans on a daily basis. According to National Geographic, actually information from the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, Gal said studies show that more than 99% of rehabilitated birds will die anyway as a result of oil exposure, mainly due to kidney and liver damage caused by oil ingestion. So whenever we dump those things in the ocean, we are killing off wildlife. And that leads me to my next big point, animal harming. So National Geographic also talks about how a turtle stuck in a six-pack ring, its shell gets warped from years of straining against a tough plastic, which is actually terrifying because those little rings that we pull off of our soda cans is actually hurting an animal in the ocean when they could be living their lives just being a wild animal. And that's what we want for our world, and that's how our world spins, and all that. The first documented cases of seabirds ingesting plastic were 74 Laysan albatross chicks found on a Pacific atoll in 1966 when plastic reduction was roughly a 20th of what it is today. I also found that information on National Geographic. They have a lot of very interesting things about conservation and oil spills and things like that. So if you're ever interested, check out National Geographic website and just look up animals, pollution, and oceans, and that's kind of where I found most of my information at to base this off of. But it's just very eye-opening to see, especially every minute a dump truck of garbage goes into the ocean. That's pretty disgusting. And so many times we look at an object and never think about the sea turtle or the dolphin's nose. They can swallow it, or it gets stuck in their blowhole or anything like that. We never really think about that, and I think it's something we need to take more into concern. Recycling is a great alternative to our trash. Instead of sending your bottles and cardboard boxes to a landfill, always send them to a recycling center because they can melt down the plastic and put it somewhere that it's actually meant to be, rather than in our oceans, and our animals end up ingesting those things. Such as reusable products, you can use Swell water bottles, the metal ones, grocery bags that are like the totes that you can buy at Giant or any of those kind of stores. Wise's always sells them. You can get them for a bunch of different sizes, in a bunch of different seasons. I think Dollar Tree has them sometimes. And also the biggest new thing that's coming around is reusable straws. So they sell these metal straws that are like have an angle, and you can also get straight ones. And then the straw won't end up in the ocean, it'll just end up in your dishwasher. So that's helpful. The other thing we can do to take away pollution is to visit your local recycling center or call your local firehouse to find out where locally you can dispose safely of your gasoline. And according to Erie County Recycling, combine your gasoline with water and do the following. Pour the leftover water from your gasoline mixture into a box lined with plastic and mix with an absorbent material such as sand or cat litter. Let the water dry and place the box, plastic, and sand in the trash. So always make sure you listen to other people for advisory things, because that's their job, to be able to tell you what you should do with harmful things rather than just putting them in our environment and in our air that we breathe in every day, and the animals that we rely on to keep the food chain. And the easiest way to recycle 6-pack rings and fish nets, cut them in half and in half again. If you can still get your hands stuck in that ring, never throw it in the trash until you can't get your hands stuck anymore. That means that a turtle he would just swim right through it. He wouldn't get stuck in it. And always use reusable products when you can. Make the chance less that one of your bottle caps might end up in the mouth of a seal or a bird, because that would obviously block their windpipe, and that completely defeats the purpose of having conservation. In conclusion, without oceans, people would be without income, without food, and without a place to rely on for over 50% of the world's oxygen. Without oceans, many medicinal products, which I didn't know, would not be able to be made to battle things like arthritis, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and some cancers. Without oceans, our life would lack freshwater sources, beach days, and the mammalian diving reflex, which I found on the oceanpreneur.com, which I found really interesting. It's just a reflex that our body has to always be near water and to be around water, and that's why we love beach days so much. Our bodies and our world are made of water, so help us save it. Thank you.